Welcome back to Shit FlowBoarders Say. I'm your host, Coach Matt, and on this episode, we have a very special guest joining us. Your current bodyboard world champion, Daniel Tarapchak from Temecula, California, sits down with us to talk about world titles, trips around the world, and all things flowboarding. Unfortunately, during the first few questions, our audio wasn't working, so therefore, we're just going to jump right into where it starts. So thanks for tuning in and enjoy.
1, 2, 3, 4.
2005 actually is when we had the barrel go on, but like you know the barrel, it's a lot different animal than like going and practicing your flip tricks like on a regular flow rider. But That was cool because like even when I was like 12, 13, I started doing stand up on the barrel, and that was kind of my first introduction into it. We would do a little bit at the Wave Water Park and like after hours, let us actually do stand up, but very few and far in between when actually I would go to the Wave House and do both stand-up and bodyboard. So that became like the next spot was Wave House for me to conquer. Yeah, Wave House San Diego. Shout out them, RIP.
When was your first time actually doing stand-up?
So my first time doing stand-up was at the Wave Water Park. I'm pretty sure it was like even like a foam but like stand-up kind of like bodyboard, if you will. It was a stand-up board, but it was like cut and made like 42-inch like stand-up style, but foam bodyboard material. So. But I was like 8 years old, 9 years old, actually doing that at the Wave Water Park. So I had like a little bit of like doing it. I'm pretty sure it was like Erica Citron or like Haley Balderrama, Haley Hernandez now. Shout out. But yeah, they were like the first ones that were like teaching me those like kind of steps and leading me the way of the flowboarding.
Gotcha. So then your first contest was when you were about 7 at the Vista Wave.
Vista Wave Water Park youth bodyboard. Yeah, 7 years old. I think I placed like third for that contest.
Wow. What year was that?
2004.
Wow. A long time ago. So cool. So, and is that what kind of got you into like the flow tour and competing initially, just going to that contest?
Yeah, I mean, like during those times, like we had the Texas boys coming out from the Slitterbomb Waves, like Nick Wynn, Tyler Danik and stuff. Like they're coming out and doing contests at the Wave Water Park, and even Sean Severa was like even coming out to that one, and it opened the floodgate of like kind of what was possible, because coming from Vista, like it was kind of like small knit group of people that would like go ride in the ocean, come back to the Wave Water Park when the ocean was or vice versa, when the water park was closed and go to the ocean ride,
Right.
So both of us, or the whole group of like the Wave Water Park people definitely just like saw what was going on. And I think 2008 or 9 is when I first started actually like going on tour and like going to like different states and trying to see what it was all about.
So probably 5 years after that first contest, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I was like super young, and my parents didn't know if that was like something that I was like really passionate wanting to do. I mean, obviously it was every summer we're going and doing it, but I don't think my parents recognized it as like the sports side of what it was, So they were like, "Oh, this is a sick hobby." But then once they saw like the competition started flooding, they're like, "Oh, this is something that's actually a little bit more serious. Like, let's see what's up."
Right on. So it took you a while to be able to compete on the flow tour. When you started actually riding in contests, you said you were about 13?
I mean, like 2009 is when I started going to like Utah and all the other stops. So I mean, like
12.
That year or two is when Haley told me to go pro. Like I was doing it all youth and like junior bodyboarding and stuff, and she was like, "You know what? Give these kids a chance or a break at this point. Come ride with us, like see what's up." And that year I actually went pro, and I started kind of turning some heads, and I think Haley probably was like, "Oh, snap, what I do."
It was your first year competing, so you were doing youth, you were doing junior, and then Haley was like, "You just got to do pro." Is that how it went?
I mean, basically, like she saw me grow up, like she saw me from like first contest as a little jet, at 7 years old, and like saw me all the way up until I was 12, and 5 years of riding summers every single time. She's like, come ride with us, like she's basically the one teaching me all this stuff. She's like, you can come out and ride with us, see how it is, and I thank her for that, because she pushed me to what I am today. So I feel like that was definitely the kickstart of kind of making me really appreciate the sport for what it is.
When you first went in and you were doing amateur, were you crushing all the amateurs at that time and it was like an easy step to go into pro? Or Was it like you wanted to ride a little bit more?
No, I mean there was competition. It's just at that time in my age, like there's a handful of like kids that were actually like going to those like youth bodyboard contests and stuff, and like
right.
I mean, obviously nowadays it's grown a lot more, but like I was
sure.
probably versing like 4 or 5 kids, and like I mean. Originally, when I first did a contest, I was like versing like Tom Walkenfeld's kid, which is like the original like Logan. Shout out.
Right on.
But yeah, like that's the people I was versing against, and like it's like the OG kind of like clan of like people, I guess. And now that I look back at it, like I appreciate everyone that was there and pushing the sport to what it is now.
Gotcha. Okay. When and how did we meet?
Man, I think 2012. Fantasy surf contest. I flew out. I think with my mom actually. It's like 15 at the time.
Shout out Master P, right?
Yeah, Master P, my mom.
Yeah,
that was my first time out to Florida actually, and Matt, Adam, and all them. Like it was my first time actually like seeing the fantasy surf crew, and it was like such a rad group of riders because like all of them were just like super good, challenging one another and pumping each other up. And anytime you saw them on contest, like it was just like. Well, man, who's going to get it this time? Like, you already know someone's going to be cooking. But yeah, like, that was my first time out there, met you. And it was, like, super cool. You and Adam were, like, super hospitable, showed me the ropes and everything over at Fantasy Surf. And been bros ever since, man. What can I say?
Yeah, right on. Yeah, that was actually my first contest. And it was cool to be able to meet you and see all the people come to my wave because... I did, we had a lot of good rippers at Fantasy Surf back in the day. And so I did get to see a lot of good flowboarding. But it was really cool when everybody came into my wave and it was, a bunch of people that could all rip and battling it out, for the contest. And
right, when I saw them waving, all the rippers kind of like, oh man, like this is a treat.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's an honor to do it on my wave, It's cool to have all the homies get to shred my home wave, So it was cool that you came out and I got to meet you during that, my first contest. And I think that contest specifically kind of helped influence me in flowboarding and kept my drive to want to go to more contests. So it was cool meeting you even as a little grom. You're like 14 years old and but you were ripping and
that's crazy.
I could show respect when you were young just because of how good you were, and you were also a really good kid and you were well mannered, and
appreciate it.
So it was cool to meet you and watch you grow over the years. Been friends for a long time, and I've kind of watched you grow up in flowboarding, so it's cool to see.
I know we travel the world together, man. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Well, speaking of traveling the world, what's your favorite place that you've ever gone to?
Ooh. I've debated this one for a minute now, but my favorite place, and the reason for this being is it was my first out-of-country experience, and it was with the homie Sean Beckwith. Like, what can I say? Like, we grinded for like 2 months straight at the State Fair in Texas, saving up some money. We're like, we're going to send this, So we went to Singapore for a week for the World Championships back in 2016 at a wave house Sentosa. Shout out them, RIP. But yeah, we went out there to go ride, and we wanted to do a week after in Bali, so we booked the trip for like a 2-week stay, and super dope trip. Like we had a week out there riding the barrel, ride with the people out there. The Asia Flow culture is super sick. Fatty and all them like representing out there when he was the manager back then, and showed us the ropes out there too. And it was super cool because like right after the contest, like I think there was like 16-20 of us that went to Bali afterwards.
Right.
Like, oh, let's all go surf, let's all go shred. Like it was just like a super cool like out of country experience for the first time, So like that for me, that was an unforgettable experience.
Yeah, right. I was there. I went to Bali same time as you. We kind of split paths, but met back up later on. But that was a fun trip, and that was definitely a memorable experience. So that was a good memory for me as well. What riders have influenced you most in flowboarding?
Definitely have to give the respect that is due. Haley Hernandez, definitely the shout out to her. Her and Erica Sochon, like the two OGs that really like influenced and pushed me to like the level I am today. I mean, they're the first ones to kind of show me the ropes and stuff. But like as I was growing a little bit older too, Nick Wynn and Sean Severa, they're the OGs as well. I mean, I bodyboard and stand, so I gotta give respect due to both of the OGs right there. I mean, Sean in his style too, like his style definitely carried a lot into my methodology of riding, so shout out both you guys.
Right on. Yeah, I feel like once we start riding with people that are, that we look up to, we kind of try to adapt our style to kind of mimic them, but to be a little bit better than them, because we want to, we want to be better. We want to be the best, at least for us, and imitation is also a form of flattery. As I have watched you growing up and over your past flowboarding career, I think you have a lot of style from all of those people that you mentioned. I think all of your riding has a little bit of each one of them all packed in one, and I think that's what makes you great. Those guys are amazing riders, and shout out all of them, because you guys rip. And
yeah, I mean they're the pioneers at the time, and for me, like you pick little bits of style that you like from each rider, and you collaborate all together and make your own unique one out of it. So
right.
You find your line, baby.
Right on. Well, speaking of influential, who do you think has the best style in flowboarding?
Style.
It could be bodyboarder or stand-up riders.
Well, I think I should probably do one of each. Right now, I would actually for bodyboarding right now, I'd have to give Patrick Wong a shout out. Like he's actually getting a lot of innovation with the bodyboarding, and mad respect what you're doing out there in Thailand.
Yeah, he rips.
For stand-up, it's kind of hard because like there's the barrel side of things, and there's also like the stand-up side of things. And like Scott, to me, like his style with like the way he does tricks and all this stuff, like shout out Flo Daddy.
Flo Daddy.
But yeah, dude, like you sauce up a lot of tricks, and like just the big bag of tricks that you have too makes it unique and very versatile to watch, and makes me excited to watch when I do. But for the barrel side of things, I actually have to go to Eric Silverman. Like he's the show horse. Like he has a sick bag of tricks, and like just watching it, like sometimes your jaw drops off. So it's just like it's a show, So I mean, you have to like see the different elements, and like he definitely does. So shout out Eric.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, no, it's definitely a show. And speaking of shows, they used to do shows out at Wave House San Diego. And Eric used to do some crazy tricks, as well as you. Some carbon, night rides, and can you tell the people a little bit about those times and what you got to do?
Yeah, so every Monday, every week for like a 2-hour session, we'd have like booked out for like all the bodyboarders, and it was super sick because like everyone would collaborate, try to figure out new stuff to do on the bodyboard for the barrel, and it was super cool. Like Rocky was out there, Derek Harada, the brothers. Yeah, I mean, like I even brought some of my homies and stuff too to test the waters, but it was just a super cool vibe. Like it made it to where we can actually have like our own kind of separate thing versus everyone. Like Wave House was the shit. Like everyone wanted to be there, so it was cool to have that private kind of session for the boys.
That's cool. So you got to ride and have your sesh during the Mondays. Did you ever do any of the night fights?
A few times. For me, stand-up was always one of those things that, like, it was a little intimidating. Like, I rode the barrel when I was, like, 8 years old for my first time, and, like, I was, like, always still trying to build up my building blocks up until I was, like, at least, like, 15 or 16. I think I needed a little bit more weight on me. I was, like, the weight of a bodyboard, do, like, a roll or something, just, like, fly out. So,
get flung off the wave.
But, I mean, it built up the courage, like, I knew what to kind of test the waters with, and for me now, it's, like, I kind of, like, have respect for it and know what I'm kind of capable of doing.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, those one-on-one nights, like, I mean, we definitely were able to critique that a little bit and dial it in more, too.
Gotcha. When was your first time riding the barrel on stand-up?
So the first time I was 12. It was on like a wooden Chevy board. Definitely wasn't the barrel board of choice, but it was what I had in my inventory. But yeah, I rode that for my first time. Was just like kind of timid. Got to like the third pump or whatever, carbon pumping, and working my way out. But When I got to like 15, 16, that's when I was actually getting in the barrel, you know, and just like actually having fun with it. I wasn't doing like Eric Silverman stuff, like, you know, flying out doing tricks and stuff, but like being comfortable enough to like actually like have fun with it. And bodyboarding was always a safe space for me because like if, you know, board hits me or something, that's nothing. But I've watched a lot of crazy stuff happen being, you know, there for so many years. So it's like you kind of want to like, you know, dial in what you have before you go and send something kind of big.
Right. Yeah, no, I totally get it. I've ridden the barrel a few times, so it can be pretty reckless at moments. When was the first time you competed in stand-up? Because I know you competed a lot in bodyboarding at first, but you didn't pick up the stand-up. At least you didn't compete in it for a while.
So like for stand-up, 2009, like on Flow Tour, I was doing junior stand-up. Like I was doing like, you know, shove it's all like kind of like, you know, the more basic stuff. But it like Andrew Shelton at the time, I think, was doing junior stand-up with me too. Like I said, 2009 is when we went to the Utah contest and stuff, and I think I was placing like 3rd, 4th or something. You know, doing kind of average, but that was like the first time testing the waters and stand up, and like I was riding like a wooden shove it, you know, at the time, and that was like what I was able to do, you know. And then kickflips started coming around from a skateboarding background, and then slowly but surely I started migrating into like, you know, bigger tricks.
Gotcha. I know you got into the pro category pretty much your first year competing seriously for bodyboard. When did you decide to go into the pro category for stand-up?
So that actually took a minute, to be honest. I mean, for the longest time, like I was doing pro bodyboard and junior stand-up up until I want to say like 2018, because like 2017 I did in Cancun for World Championships. I don't even think I did pro man stand-up. I think I just did pro bodyboard and just like left it as that, you know. But I think 2018 is when I started taking stand-up a lot more serious. Like over those years, like from like 15, I think to 18, I was doing State Fair in Texas, you know, after
right.
So I was building up that kind of like courage of stand up and like getting my tricks down. So 18 is when I started doing that, and then Dominican Republic, I gave it a go, and I didn't do too bad. I don't think I made it to the finals, but I think I made it like within like the top 6 or whatever. So I was like, okay, I think I got some tricks.
I can kind of do this now. I got you. So that was cool because State Fair was definitely like a grinding field for a lot of us that were there at that time, and it was cool to be able to feed off each other. I talked about it a little bit with Flow Daddy during his episode, but yeah, we were all there riding together, feeding off each other, and it really helped us all progress. And so I didn't know that's interesting to know that was pretty much there after that you started doing pro and stand-up, huh?
Yeah, the State Fair in Texas, I mean, like you were, you know, probably saying in the other interviews, like we were there for like 2 months getting paid to basically do shows every hour on the hour, and like just being able to have that time, like, you know, dialing in tricks after tricks, you know, for like 8-10 hours a day each day. It was just making it to where we could dial in every single trick that we were wanting to actually do for contests, which is like super cool because for me, like back at home, like if I don't ride during the summer, it's like I don't ride at all, you know.
Right.
So for me, I was like taking advantage, like dialing in what I can do for like a contest, and like those are the years up until like 18, 19. Like I think COVID is when the last year for us doing that was like right before 2019 Korea.
When was the first time you won world championships on the bodyboard?
So the first time for me was 2012. It was Ogden, Utah, World Championship contest actually. For the first few years, like it was out of country, so I was like waiting for it to come into country, and super stoked that it was like in country. And like during that time, I was battling like Nick Sanchez, Nick Wynn, Andrew O'Connor, Andrew Shelton, and stuff. And like that whole season of leading up to it, it was just like cat and mouse. Like you didn't know who was gonna win actually. So it was really exciting when I actually won that first time, because like in 2012 being 15, you know, I was just like, oh my goodness, like it's achievable. Like I can actually like do pro bodyboard at this like, you know, level I'm doing it at. So lit kind of a fire underneath me for the next years, which was actually kind of funny because I didn't win another world championship until 2017, 5 years later.
So it took a little bit to get your comeback. Well, when did you first take a gold medal in a pro category in bodyboarding?
So I always go back and forth. Like I think there was one of those Utah contests that I went to during the first Flow Tour in 09 that I won, but I don't think like I actually like won any one after that up until the 2012 one. I think I was like still trying to get my edge going. Like I said, during that time, like Sanchez, Nick Wynn, all them, like they were really good. And like I was still trying to get up to that like level because growing up until like they were, you know, I was traveling and stuff. Like I kind of had my group of people, but like we kind of only saw what was capable. Like Nick Wynn was starting to throw those like DK rolls and rodeos, I think 2011, and then that's what made it like, oh snap, like there's more tricks on the horizon. It's not just like spin to win, hubcaps, you know, all this different stuff that we're trying to accomplish. But yeah, like he pioneered a lot of those things to where now it's crazy to watch bodyboarding.
Your first gold was around 09, and then you didn't really win too much after that up until 2012.
Yeah, I will say that like it was probably just like one every so often. Like back in those days, like there was like 12, 13 contests on Flow Tour. So like for me, I wasn't able to travel a lot up in like Utah was the only leg that was close enough for us to like be able to go to. There's 3 stops there, so it's kind of worthwhile going. But for all the other stops, like my parents couldn't really afford for me to like go fly out, do all that stuff. Like there wasn't really like the monetary value for them to go do that. My dad's working the whole time while my mom's trying to do that for me. So I waited till I was actually, you know, making some money at the time to actually like help afford to make that happen. In 2012, when I was 15, like I was like, let's run it. Let's just go to Florida. Let's see like whatever stops we can. And I went out to Florida. I didn't even make. I don't even think I like placed in either of those contests. I think I might have got third at Fantasy or something. But yeah, I mean, like I was trial and error basically all up until like 2017 in Cancun when I started like actually like paying for a lot of my own stuff, doing my own stuff, my stuff, and
gotcha.
Yeah, I think it made it to where like I realized like if I want to do this, like I have to do it kind of my own direction. Like I can't just like have like my parents be able to like, you know, put in the money, let them take me everywhere because I felt bad doing it, you know.
Right. Well, that makes sense, and yeah, it's hard, you know, because our parents love us and they want to help us, but sometimes it's not always you can go and do every contest, and even though you want to. Did you get any sponsors growing up to maybe help afford some of those contests?
Yeah, so I mean with bodyboarding, like WCB, Chris Gannoni, shout out him, he was one of the day ones. Like I think I was 8 or 9 when he first sponsored me, and from then on, like I rode WCB up until I think after the World Championship when I won in 2012. But I was just getting bored. Like it wasn't like he helped me like, you know, maybe go to like a contest here and there that was like a local contest for like gas or something. But I mean, I was so young to where like all the other people that were actually sponsored, you know, should be getting the actual royalties that are deserved. But when I was like starting to get like, you know, World Championship and like starting to get recognized, that's when I got an offer from Carbon, and that's when he gave me a little bit more money to actually like go and do stuff and, you know, actually project it into where I can actually start, you know, paying my way about it rather than like having, you know, I love Chris and everything, but like he had a lot of people he was sponsoring, and I feel like it wasn't able for him to like give out that money to everybody, you know. If he does it for one, he has to do it for everybody. And with Carbon, you know, just starting off as a new brand, it was easier for them to be like, oh, here's all, you know, here's some money to be able to like kickstart your Flow Tour and help you go to all this stuff. And 2012, when he sponsored my Flow Tour, after that Flow Tour is when he sponsored me, you know, so went and did all that stuff. And don't look back, but, you know, like after that, FlowRider picked me up, I think 2014 or 15, and that's when I've been with FlowRider ever since, is bodyboarding as their main OG, I guess.
Being the youngest world champion to date, do you see any up-and-coming riders or Groms that could give you a run for your money on that record?
Yeah, I believe Patrick Wong, as I was mentioning earlier, I believe he's actually under 15 still? Is he 15 now?
I think he might be. Is he 15?
Not sure, but like either way, he's the one that I would say would have the chance to probably take, if not bodyboarding, stand up as well. Like he's actually a double burger, just like me.
Definitely.
If we have a World Championships out of country this year, then that potential is very high.
Yeah, we haven't had it out of the country in a long time, so be interested to see if they release the schedule and see what our World Championships is this year. So
to be determined.
Yeah, fingers crossed. It might be somewhere cool, and to see like Patrick and some of those guys like Tom and Nazari back in the day used to kill it, and
like
see some of those guys. Yeah, for sure. be able to ride with some of the international group, because we haven't gotten to see very many over the past few years since COVID happened. So
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
it would be cool to have a Worlds out of the country at this point and get to see what up to all of those international shredders, you know. I'd be interested to watch that battle, you and Patrick. I think you'd give each other a good run for your monies.
I mean, I would definitely give it my all, but dude, Patrick, the way you're shredding right now, all the push you've been doing, I respect, man. I think you have what it takes. So looking forward to that fight.
We should figure out how we do a game of skate with you guys, and whoever sets gets to pick whatever board. Like you pick the bodyboard or you pick the stand-up board.
Oh, you bodyboard and trick for a trick, or we just like
that'd be good.
That'd be good. You're crushing me, I bet.
Yeah, he's got a lot of tricks. He's got some big tricks, which you do too. So yeah, it'd be good. He said, yeah, it'd be good. It'd be good fun to watch. Hopefully, we can see a little bit more international riders this year in World Championships.
Yeah, for me, I feel like the World Championships means having all the international people, so...
How many titles do you have, dude? Yeah, I know you got so many under your belt.
It's just crazy with how long I've been riding till I count them, you know? So 2012, the OG won, 2017 Cancun, 18 Dominican, 19 and Yonggi in Korea.
And those are all bodyboarding?
Yeah, those are all bodyboarding. And then 2000, because COVID happened, so I think 2022 is when we started doing kind of the World Championships again, in 2023. So basically 6 for bodyboard, and then 2022 I ended up winning stand-up as well, so I would have 1 in stand-up and then 6 bodyboard.
Which is a really, really dope achievement. Not only all of those world titles, but to be able to take first place in pro stand-up and pro bodyboard at the same time.
Yeah, it was unreal, honestly. That was not what I was expecting. Like, when I heard my name didn't get here, or when I didn't hear my name for a second, like, I sat back down, like, kind of like, oh, like, no way, that just happened. Like, I thought my voice got one. Like, so, you should have won, but.
Right on. I mean, you guys both threw it down that year, and it was super close, so it really could go either way when you guys are both, you know, shredding, and it's hard to watch for the judges to just be able to critique those minor tendencies. It was a good win. You won both, and that's a great achievement, so congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
You got a couple of NBDs in the flowboarding championship world, being that you're the youngest to get a world championship, and then first to do the double win, so that's pretty cool. 20
years of riding, definitely achieved a few accolades, I guess.
Yeah, it helps to have a little bit of experience, though, I guess. But right on, that's super cool, and congratulations. And again, congratulations, because this past year you won again for bodyboarding, and you are the current world champion for 2023.
Trying to keep the streak going now.
Trying to keep the streak going. So you have a streak going right now. What do you have? What are you at for in bodyboarding?
So 17, 18, 19, 22, 23. So
five in a row.
5 Pete.
Gotcha. So, well, I'd be interested to see somebody come and try to take you down, because yeah, you've been on a tyrrancy, just crushing all the way through and not stopping.
I don't mean to be like, all the homies on Flow Tour as well. Like they're all really up there, and like I believe within this next Flow Tour you're going to see some shift going on.
Yeah, some transition.
Yeah, man. They're working and like putting in the work, man, and I support it. Like,
yeah.
I don't ride during the winter that much, so it's just like it takes me a little bit more to like catch up to what being put down at the moment.
You don't really get to ride in the off season because you're in California and all your waves are closed, right? So,
unfortunately,
I have seen a lot of the Texas rippers, the bodyboarders, starting to like
Yeah, that's real.
They're on it, man. They're coming for you, bro.
Yeah, we're at Epic and stuff, man. I see them putting in work and posting and stuff. Like, it's coming one way or another.
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah, you gotta stay up on your game because you got that title, that record to uphold that streak. So yeah, I'll be interested to see somebody give you a run for your money. So
I'll try to put some new combos out this year.
Yeah. Right on.
I have the most minor correction. Patrick is 16.
Oh!
It took me a lot of digging and I had to go through Facebook to find it.
That's funny.
But his birthday was November 4th and he's now 16.
So just missed it. He missed it. Well, I guess Patrick's not on the table for youngest at least, but maybe he might be the youngest to do like a double win.
I mean, I would say the youngest to compete in a world championship. I think Dominican Republic in 2018, he was like 11 or 12 and he placed like second or third.
When was your first world championship?
2012, I was 15. So like my first one was when I won.
So maybe he is the youngest
to like place
to get a podium spot.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
In flowboarding.
Yeah.
That's cool. You're so clean with your riding and you're very consistent and you got your bodyboarding dialed, you know. And even though you don't really get a lot of time to practice, you still seem to whenever you do.
I mean, 20 years later, it just turns into muscle memory.
Yeah, I guess when you're 5 years old bodyboarding now, it was like learning to walk and about it.
I used to have dreams when I was younger and like would plan kind of like runs out and like things that I would like do in my run and then like apply it the next day when I go ride and stuff. So I mean, like now when I'm older, it's just like I go on the wave and it's just like those presets are just kicking in already and I don't even like control what I'm doing. Honestly.
You just do it. It's just natural. What do you keep in your flowboard bag?
My whole life, to be honest. Man. Like when I travel,
I get that.
I like put all my clothes in my board bags. I mean, I have a bodyboard bag, so like I'll put all my stand-up boards, my bodyboards, wetsuits, towel, like all my clothes and stuff, and like literally put on the scale. And like, did I hit the 50 marker? I go over pack more stuff in there. So,
yeah, you probably got a lot in your bodyboard bag because you have to carry your bodyboards and your flowboards.
Yeah, it's a heavy travel process, especially when you're going international too. It's like, oof.
Yeah, no, I get that totally.
Yeah, I basically keep everything in there. You can imagine just it being a suitcase, but a bodyboard bag.
Gotcha. So your flowboard bag is also your suitcase.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Exactly. I think my backpack is like almost empty as could be, so then like on the plane I'm like, oh, snacks, all this different stuff, you know, and then make it easy just to be able to like put a sweater on, whatever.
So sometimes you come to the wave with your like shampoo and your toothbrush and your bathroom necessities.
You don't know how long or how clutch that actually comes at times. Like,
Yeah.
You roll to some venues and you're like, oh man, I'm stuck here for a while. Like I need my essentials. Like here you go.
Just go brush your teeth in the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Hey, I mean, if you travel there all day, 8 hours, like I just want to brush my teeth.
Speaking about flowboard bag, and obviously you definitely carry your flowboard in it, right? And your flowboards. What boards do you ride, and can you explain what you like about your boards personally?
Yeah, so for bodyboarding, I've done a lot of trial and error. Like I've ridden so many bodyboards growing up. Like my first bodyboard was like a 42-inch Slitterbond park board with like a square bottom that was like taller than I was at like 5-6 years old. So I mean, like you see the pros and cons of like what every board can kind of do, and for me, like when you start going too crazy with the board, it starts like giving away sometimes the functionality of it. And for me, like I kind of like the simple, basic, but yet like the twist on it. Like for me, bodyboarding, like mine's pretty simple. Like it has a shaved tail, like pretty easy curvature and stuff. But it gets the job done. Like it's not gonna like not do what it's supposed to do because it's just an easy way of going about it. And for me, like I've tried all the different WCBs, Custom X, J&L and stuff, and for me, like I've kind of just fine-tuned what I thought was just like gonna be a little bit easy for me to grasp and like hold on to for a while, and it's been the board since. Like I gravitate to other boards here and then, and I mean that one's the one that's like the overall for like main flow riders and stuff. But when you go to a barrel, like for me, you have to kind of switch up like your actual entire board inventory. So when I go to the barrel, like I usually don't ride the same board that I would normally ride for like a flow rider. Like I ride like a 37, like dual channel on the bottom, super
Bit
wide
bigger.
body. Yeah, exactly. And it makes it to where like you can actually have like more control, because the shaved tail in the barrel like wants to suck you in and pull you, so you're kind of fighting yourself the whole time. So
Right.
some boards are good for like certain ways, some boards are not, and you just need to fine tune kind of what's one for like overall. And for me, my pro model for bodyboarding is the one that's been super good for just like overall 2-jet beach break waves and stuff, and then the 37 dual channel for the barrel. For stand up though, like it took me a while to kind of like get my bearings and like kind of figure out what's the best for which. And the reason why I like the Outlaw 42 quad chin is just because you can go from riding a barrel like no problem, and then go onto a flow rider and still be able to function and do all the flip tricks that you want to do. And it's kind of the best of both worlds, to where like I love Mac, I love Ash, I love all the other boards like Winfield, Aquaflow, can't forget you. Like all those boards are super good too, and everyone has their own fine tunings and stuff. But for me, like I've ridden that for so long to where like when I go to a different board, it's just like I have to like think outside the box a little bit, you know. And like 20 years of riding, it's just like you know what you're good and what you're used to riding, so you kind of stick with that in a sense.
Right. Okay, so let's break it down. Your bodyboard, your flow rider pro model bodyboard is a 35. Is that what you said?
Yeah, so it's a 35 or a 37, I believe, that we do for the body or my pro model bodyboard.
What do you use specifically, right?
I do a 35. As I've gotten older, the smaller board makes it easier for shove-its. The only thing when you do get a smaller board, your weight is kind of like a bigger thing. Since I've like gotten bigger, I sometimes crush my boards a little bit faster being smaller. But like my thumbs, like in Singapore, I like hyperextended my thumb in my back of my wrist, and then I've had like a snowboard injury with my other thumb, so like gripping and like making it to where I can have like a beefier board just doesn't really work when I'm trying to do the tricks that I'm trying to do.
So you like a little bit lighter, a little bit
exactly,
more nimble.
and I'll put like a string in there to try to compensate for it, but like it doesn't sometimes just
still bends, and yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's still a sponge after all, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a bodyboard. You don't use so much.
So you rock channels, you rock.
So no channels actually. Like if I'm just doing regular flow rider, no channels. But if I'm doing a barrel, that's when I'll apply the channels.
That's when you want the channels.
Yeah.
And then, do you got any handrails on your bodyboard, or yours is pretty clean?
No, it's all clean. It's actually flat, just to like a square tip basically, and it makes it to where like it gets very thin at the top, to where like you can literally just like clamp your hand like that and barely have to grab it. It's like it's right there, suction cupped in.
Gotcha. And then, do you use wax or?
Yeah, I use a crap load of wax. Like my hairs on the legs literally sticky from like one run. So
Gotcha.
that's my glue.
Is there a certain place that you like to wax the board?
At this point, it's the whole board nowadays. Like I literally like a whole double stick of wax will sometimes be gone just in the waxing process. So
yeah,
don't be afraid.
Gotcha. But you try to spread it out pretty evenly, right? I'd imagine.
No, for sure. I mean, usually like the top body square part is where a lot of the wax is going to be, because I mean that's where you're gripping and trying to do a lot of the tricks and making sure you're holding onto the board. I do a little bit less more towards the legs and stuff when you're actually on the board, because your weight corresponds with the pressure. So I mean, you don't need to make it super crazy down there, because you want to be able to slide your knees and your feet to a different position, but you want enough to feel the grip underneath your feet.
Right. That makes sense. Speaking of boards, I heard that you may have a pro model coming out for the stand-up soon. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Maybe like the size, the shape, the graphic. Is it similar to the board you ride right now?
Yeah, so it's going to be the same type of board that I'm riding, the 42 Quad Chin Outlaw. I mean, we've been talking about other shapes and sizes and stuff, but like that one's kind of been the bread and butter for us for a minute now, and like all the homies at Florida kind of shred that stuff to where it's nice for us to be able to just put a graphic on something that we all enjoy instead of dabbling into something that we might actually know. But yeah, I got a pro model coming out, and it's gonna be sick. Been collaborating with some of the Florida boys. Josh's homie Corey, I believe, is the one who did this graphics, so shout out to him. Appreciate you, bro. I believe in the next month or two we're going to be having that come out, flowboardershop.com. So
Gotcha.
Stay on the lookout. Should be coming out, and stay tuned. It's going to be sick.
Right on. Yeah, we'll put that up there. Flowridershop.com. Can you talk about it? Are you allowed to say anything? Do you want to
I mean, it's been in the works.
Is
for
it
a
top
minute.
secret?
I will give you it. There is a little bit of like a theme to it. It's not like a party theme by any means, but it's kind of got like a classy party theme to it. So you'll have to see. It's not not trying to give you too much details, but it's gonna be something different. I think it'll be pretty cool.
Right on. Well, yeah, I look forward to seeing that. That'd be cool when that comes out. Well, when you ride boards, you need gear, obviously, right? Is there anything specific that you like to ride in? I know some riders like shoes and stuff.
Yeah, I mean those Janowskis, bro.
Yeah, riding the Nike SBs on.
No, I've never really liked the shoes. I like the way my feet grip on the actual board. I mean, I've tried them a few times, but it's not something I've wanted to actually keep going with. But what I've always represented when I ride is usually Billabong. That's been my OG go-to, right? Whether it's wetsuits, everything. But I mean, if I'm wanting to just ride like most of the time, straight board shorts, that's me, baby. Just nothing else but board shorts. So, I mean, that's for bodyboarding and stuff. It's usually like at least over the knee high for board shorts. Like when you're bending your knees and stuff, you don't want your pants going past your knees. It just doesn't feel right. It feels like you want to rip it down at the same time as you're riding. So, but yeah, basically just board shorts. And then if it's at a colder place, I mean, I'll do a spring suit. That's usually the other comfortable way because it does give you a little bit of padding for those, ears and stuff for bodyboarding. So I do respect that a little bit, but that's probably like the most I usually like to put on is like the spring suit. When you go full suit, it's like, all right, now I'm like having to bundle up and like make sure I'm like going in. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you got to do it because it's cold riding. Hey, if you got 4-3 though, you'll make it happen. So.
Yeah. But I'm kind of right there with you. I don't like to ride in too much just because I feel like it hinders me from my movements and my mobility, and so if I have like shorts that are below the knees or above the knees, I mean, if they're below the knees, they might grab, and I don't really, I think I just don't want to. I want to be free. I want to be able to do.
Want to be guns blazing.
Yeah, I want to be guns blazing.
I mean, I wear like a 5-panel hat sometimes, like when I'm doing stand up and stuff. But like if I'm doing bodyboarding, like
it's
like,
just gonna fly off.
There's no chance it's like really staying on. One D can roll it and it's already out. So.
Gotcha. What was the most frustrating trick you ever landed?
So for bodyboarding, I will say like the rodeo was probably one of the most frustrating tricks. Like I remember seeing Nick Lynn post that and like it being out for like a little bit. And it took me like almost all summer long at the wave water park trying to land that. And like it's a concrete wave, and like I would get too short sometimes, like hit my elbow, slap my side and stuff, and like I would be like bruised like neck to like my elbow and stuff, just like learning that trick. And remember like towards the end of it, just like actually going board to board, landing it, just being so hyped about it, and was like, oh my gosh, like now I can actually like combo this up and do like a DK roll and stuff. And yeah, so that was for bodyboarding, like probably like the grinding trick of like the time right there was the rodeo flip. For stand up, honestly, all the flip tricks were kind of like hard. I mean, I started getting like the kickflip because of skateboarding a little bit, but the heel flip tricks are the ones that really started getting me. I will say like the disco and like a heel flipper for flowboarding were like the hardest things for me. And what's funny is like in skateboarding, heel flips are usually the ones that I gravitated towards, but in stand up for flowboarding, I couldn't do a heel flip. First time I like was doing flip tricks, like a kickflip was the first trick I actually like landed for a flip trick, but that was like the furthest I was like getting for like a couple of years. What did you land a kickflip on the? It was a shove it in like 2009 Flow Tour or something, but it was like literally like the last second. I didn't have any other tricks, and like I went in and was just like, I'm gonna go through this kickflip, see if I can do it, and I did it, and I was like, oh my gosh, so like junior contest. And I think in a contest. Yeah, in the contest, because that was the only time I was able to ride stand up for me. Like back in the wave, I was still doing like the wave bodyboard. So like I was like trying to utilize the time.
Gotcha. That's funny. Did you land a kickflip first on your skateboard? Yeah. And then you took it to the flow. So you'd already landed a flip trick before you got to the flow. Yeah, like on a skateboard, like a kickflip and a varial were like the furthest that I was kind of getting. But like for some reason, I was doing heel flips, like disco flips, inward heels and stuff. Like I was able to do those like tricks on a skateboard, which
I was trying to do it on a flowboard, and like like that. Every time I did that was like more catastrophic than me trying to learn like a kickflip or a heel flip. So obviously you go from the basics. You try to work your way up like kickflip, backside flip or something. So I was like, let me do that with a heel flip. So I did a heel flip and couldn't get that for the longest time. Barely started getting it. Went for like a disco, like a barrel heel, and like those. To this day, I'm still like getting those in lock.
Yeah, trying. Yeah, I get that. So the heel tricks were the most frustrating stand-up tricks for you.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And I guess it was just because you felt like you had them on lock in the skateboard and it would be able to translate, right? But
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why you see me doing like varials, backside trick, like all that stuff, because like it started flowing a lot easier with like the flick, but the heel, which is something that was like not registering. But on a skateboard, I was like, oh, that's what I usually go to, which is weird. You won't really see me doing like bigger flips and like all that. Like I'll do a tray flip, backside flip, skateboarding, but like bigger flips and like the blizzard flip and stuff. Like I don't really do that on skateboard. Like I was kind of flowboarding that, ignited that further.
Have you ever landed those on the skateboard?
Well, like fakie, so like the fakie full cab flip or whatever. That's kind of what triggered the blizzard and like air 360s and stuff. Was that and like air 360s is still one of the favorite tricks, but now we're getting into the age of technicality, so we have to go bigger.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's called best trick for a reason. It's gonna be the best trick, right? The biggest and the best. I get it. Well, what's the next big trick that you're working on?
So like right now is gazelles and front big heels are like the two tricks that I'm like wanting to get down. Obviously, they take a little bit more time than I'm anticipating right now. I believe the gazelle is probably a little bit more further along than the front big heel, but I'm starting to get like frontside heels and like barrel heels a lot better and stuff. So hopefully we can actually get that in motion and start laying that down. Because I haven't actually done a laser, never done a front big heel before. I've gotten like inches away from the gazelle flip, so like I know that's like it's cooking and it's coming, but the other ones like I need some time to like dedicate and like get my mind around it.
Right. Yeah, you just need to sit out away for a while and just put in some work real quick, because I'm sure you'd probably get it in no time.
Need that time, baby.
Yeah. But it's hard when you can't dedicate the time, when you don't have a wave that's close to you that's working at that moment, so I get it. What's your dream trick? What's your trick you just wish you could get?
Honestly, it's those front flip impossibles like Scotty, bro. Like anytime I do that, it's like a pogo stick coming straight back at me. So, I mean,
I feel that.
Maybe some of your wizardy magic you can send over this way.
Yeah, give some juju over to everybody else, Scotty. Yeah.
I would say that front foot impossible for sure. Like, I mean, those impossible tricks, even back foot impossible, which some people make it look like a 3-shove, but like if you do the proper flip, like those to me are aesthetically pleasing.
What is your favorite wave, and why is it your favorite?
I know the cliche one is like always like my home wave is my favorite wave. I do everything there. But to me, it's like it's about the experience and like what you took from like that wave that made you just be like, wow, like that kind of changed my perspective in a sense. And like I always gravitate back to Singapore because like that was like a shifting moment. And like for me, like I never really like I did barrel contests or whatever, but that was the first time like international going to a barrel contest. It was like, let's see what I can do. Like I didn't even place in it, but like I got like. To the semis or something, I was like giving it my all, and like I beat myself at that contest. Like after setting my thumb on the flow, and then like I think I like broke my big toe like on the barrel or something. Like messed it up pretty good though. But like that contest, just I saw the different riding styles from the different cultures, the different things and stuff, and it made me just like dial in my riding differently than what I probably would have done never going out of country in a sense. Like just staying back and just saving the money or whatever. I think it opened my eyes to like seeing new level of like riding possibilities in a sense. And to me, like that's just it's my favorite venue because there's like a barrel and a flow right next to each other. You can just ride both of them at the same time. And I missed that from like way across San Diego because around that time we were closing down our machine and stuff. So it was kind of that like sadness, but like seeing the other side of the world having the same kind of enjoyment that we had.
Right. Interesting. So your favorite wave is now no longer here.
It's no longer here. But I mean, if I would have to go for like a second pick now, it would definitely be the Chili wave, even though it's a little bit on the bumpy side and a little hard to ride. But
looks like it.
It's super fun, and it's kind of cool. It's like in a shopping mall too, so it's like you kind of go and do whatever you want to do. There's even like indoor rock climbing and stuff, like a fitness center and everything, and it's just like a really sick kind of vibe over there. And hopefully this year might be going back. Who knows?
Yeah. So you went to the Chile contest last year. Yeah. What'd you place there?
So I got second in prone, and I got second in DK for bodyboarding. Nick Wynn took first in DK, and then the dude Diego out there, he got first in the prone category. So,
right on.
Yeah, shout out him, dude. He's a beast, actually. He kills it.
Yeah, right on. They got some rippers down there. How was that experience? Did you have fun down there?
I had a blast. The culture out there is super sick. A lot of them, the riders out there, they actually used to go to like the Abu Dhabi contest for the barrel and stuff, and I think one or two of them I went to Singapore. So either way,
I know a couple of the Chileans went to the U.S. Open back in the day.
Yeah.
Wave House San Diego.
Oh, you're right, actually. True.
They had Team Chile out there, so it was cool. It was fun. I met all those guys. So.
Yeah. But yeah, all of them were super cool. Like the level of riding out there is still super high too. And I mean, it wasn't the biggest contest. We definitely had, I think, maybe like 40, 50 something people or whatever. But it was the first time Chile was like throwing their like a contest back in their home country and stuff, you know. And
right.
We had like international people coming out. So for us, it kind of felt like a nice like greeting of like, you know, coming back into the barrel scene that, you know, people thought were kind of, you know, were gone for a second. So
right.
We're trying to get that revamped and going back, and Carlos out there making it happen behind the scenes. So hopefully we get this cooking for this year.
Right on. Well, yeah, I look forward to seeing that contest. I don't know if I'll be able to make it out there, but I'm not too keen on the left barrels, being that I'm a left foot forward rider. And
hey, Ryan Brunson's been out there, dude.
No, he's a shredder on the left, so I am not. I try. I like the lefts. I like the lefts. But I stick to my rights. I like my rights. Chile sounds fun. Looks cool, and it's I love barrels, so can't go wrong.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. Vibes and rides, baby. Do you got a go-to food that you eat before or after a flow sesh?
Usually a lot of carbs. So if it's a before flow sesh, like ironically, especially during contests, like I kind of eat like a bird. Like I'll eat like coffee, like snack around, you know, maybe like an RX bar, Fit bar or something. But like I like usually I'm at like a water park or a venue or something where it's like, oh, let's just have this venue food, and like I'm judging or something throughout the day before the contest, and like I usually don't get the time that I want allotted properly to kind of like eat and then like take the time and then go ride. I usually just like go, ride, go, and then like after I ride I'm like no. But then I'm so hungry afterwards to where like I eat so much, but it's usually I try to get as much carbs as I can in there to where it's like a nice steak dinner, you know, prime rib dinner, baked potato or something. Like that's usually like my go-to after a contest. Like I like to be a little classy, but if I'm not able to get into that atmosphere or whatever, just even pasta or something like super carby just to be able to soak it all in. So
replenish that energy.
Yeah, exactly. Like lasagna.
I get it, and especially because lasagna. Especially because you're double riding when you're doing stand up and bodyboarding, and bodyboarding takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, so. the double back to backs. That's what really gets you, honestly. Bodyboarding and then stand up, like it's so much just exertion, and then you're going into stand up where it's like your legs are already kind of shaking, you know. So it's like, here we go.
Gotcha. Yeah, gotta replenish that energy. So prime ribs and pasta. Got it. That's good too. Well, we were talking earlier about like the State Fair of Texas, and we used to do that every year. And it was a lot of fun. Can you think of a time that really resonates with you during one of those trips?
During the State Fair of Texas?
Yeah.
I mean, when I first started going there, I think it was like 2015, all the way to 2019, so 4 years. But first few years, like Zachary Len, Scott Callens, they're the ones that actually invited me out there. They came on tour, I think 2014, and got his contact. He came out to one of the contests in California, met both of them and stuff. I met Scotty a little bit before, actually, in 2012 during like an Arizona inflatable thing we had going on with FlowRider. But yeah, they invited me out there, and I just remember there being like so many sick times because we all just get to ride together, like 8 hours a day, all the homies practicing shredding and stuff. But like I specifically remember like we invited Matt and Lexi out there, and it was just like Matt, Lexi, me, Zach, Brian Thomas, Tyler Danik, and all of us just riding together collectively, just getting better and better. And I want to say before Dominican Republic was probably like the first time that I think Matt and Lexi were coming out there, and it was just like a vibe because like we actually had like me, Scott, and Zach were usually the dedicated three, like always going each season and stuff, and like all the other ones would like come when they can and get off schedules and stuff. So
Right.
like, it was fun having 3 people, but like it was not fun, because like having like 8 hours of riding for 3 people, like you're taking shifts at that point. So it's like it's so exerting, just
tiring.
to do it. And they wanted me for bodyboard, Scott for stand up, and then Zach did both as well. So like it was just like we can all fill in together. But when you guys came and made a tour, like it was fun. We could actually like do what we want to do.
Yeah.
So when you guys came out 2018, I would say it's probably the funnest year and stuff. Scott and y'all go to Scott. Massage Palace or
Yeah, what was it? Spa Castle, Texas. Yeah, Danny didn't want to go because he don't like water tickles.
No, I was like, I didn't see if it was dope.
Yeah, no, those are good times. So, you're famously quoted, "Pros don't practice." Can you tell us where that quote comes from? And more importantly, is it true?
So yeah, like OBX contest, I think it was 2019 or something. That randomly came up, honestly. Like I haven't heard that before, but like all those groms basically were coming at me saying like, "Oh, pros don't practice," and like during like the contest, there's usually a slot for like practice time and everything. And for me, like throughout the years of I've been riding for 20 years now, to where it's like I've learned to like save my energy for the contest day. Like if you already have the tricks that you want to throw, like keep your energy top notch and throw it in the contest. And for me, that's the mentality I've been kind of keeping ever since like 2016, 17 or whatever. Just because like a lot of times like I methodically plan out a run, like go practice super hard and stuff, and then like during practice get hurt or like just something that would inhibit me from like doing my best in the contest. And like that's like almost like you're hurting yourself, like you're shooting yourself in the foot at that point. And for me, like I've been doing all these contests as like a kid growing up and stuff, and like now it's like I want to actually just like go to a contest and do what I can do and know what I can do. And most of the time, like you have to learn to, if you're going a different way, going to dial it in, learn the different wave and stuff. But after you've gone to like so many different waves, you can kind of understand and look at it and be like, okay, this is like what I need to kind of do in a sense, and like avoid certain things. And that's why when I'll go ride, I'll carve around, test the waters and kind of just feel the wave and like buoyancy level, all that different stuff. And I know it's kind of like articulate, I guess, in a sense to kind of do that, but to me, like I'd much rather not practice and like save the energy basically. And at that contest in the OBX time, they were making the phrase basically pros don't practice. And for me, like I just owned it because I was like, yeah, like I'm not gonna practice, like I'm gonna save my energy. And I just kind of started becoming a thing, like, oh, pros don't practice, I would see other pros just like saving their energy, doing the same thing. I'm just like, oh man, it's kind of funny now.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a statement that's been quoted multiple times. I've heard it. And my mentality when I go to contests is like I look at that line, and it's by the time I get to the front and I ride and I'm doing my tricks, I can warm up, but I fall and I go to the back of the line, and as I wait for my next turn, I'm not warm anymore, and I gotta warm up again. So I almost feel like I don't get the time to actually like ride like I would even during a contest. I get more back-to-back riding than I would waiting in line in practice before the contest. So I feel better in contests. I adjust faster because I'm getting that repetition. So I typically don't do too much practice before a contest unless I rent out the wave or do something like that and get a little private sesh going, because Yeah, I want to be able to get that repetition because it's really like difficult to just ride with a lot of people in line. So
Yeah, I feel like especially now that we're starting to get a bunch of people going to these contests, it's it's cool to see, but like you're right, like it's hard to get that private practice time, if you will, to actually get like tricks that you want to do, because like when there's so many people online, you're like, oh snap, like I'm just gonna do what I know I can do so I can get the wave time,
yeah.
But like especially if you're doing like stand up and bodyboarding contests, like you're exerting a lot of energy. So like for me, my mindset has always been like save that energy and just like do what you know you can do, and if you know what you can do is something that's solid, then it's going to show in the contest.
Yeah, I get that. That's a good mentality to have, and I'll take heed to that because coming from the 7-time world champion, I think you have some valuable input. And so pros don't practice. Got it.
Practice on your own accord, but like when you go to the contest, like know you're coming with the bag of tricks that you're wanting to come with. Don't feel like you're having to learn new tricks right then and there at the contest. Obviously, you want to practice new tricks, but it's like don't feel like you have to like keen on that as like your way of winning the contest. Do you boo boo?
Yeah, do you boo boo? Got it. Well, let's switch gears a little bit. I had an episode with Flow Daddy, and Flow Daddy told us a little story about you, possibly embarrassing, and it was about a time you went to South Korea in 2018 with him. Do you care to elaborate a little bit more on that story, or do you just want to leave it as is?
No, I'll elaborate. Honestly, I think it's a funny story. To me, I don't see any embarrassment. Obviously, I mean, there was some throwing up in the action, but when it's a good enough time, that's what makes it a fun story. So But yeah, so like 2018, I was going out there. Fatty and Sangjun, they invited me out there because they're doing a flow tour contest for Asia Flow Tour. And they wanted somebody to come out there and judge and compete in the Asian Flow Tour. And they also wanted a stand-up rider. So I hit up Scott, and I think he thought I was like joking or whatever. But he was like, yeah, like, are you sure you want me out there? And I was like, what's your passport number, bro? Like, we're going to send it. And yeah, so I flew him out there and flew in and met us at a restaurant and stuff. So all the ropes, everything going on. But the night before the contest, Fatty wanted to take us all out, go get drinks and stuff. And didn't realize that we were partying until 6, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Got a little out of hand.
Got a little bit out of hand, but I mean, like all the bros together, we don't really get to see each other that often, so it's like you want to go and hang out. Obviously, it's better to do it after the contest, but for us, we got to see each other. It's been years, and Scott, I think it was one of Scott's first time like going out of country in that realm or whatever. So it was first time meeting everybody. But like I seen Fatty back in Singapore, so it was like kind of a reunion for us. But we went out partying all night. Went back to the hotel at like 7 o'clock in the morning. Like literally stepped out of our cab, and immediately Sanjin, the manager for the Flow House, was there and was like, "Hey, we're going to the contest. We need you guys." And we're like, oh snap, here we go, like day starting already. So yeah, we went over there, and obviously like I look like crap, like we really didn't even change or anything, like we're still in the clothes that we're partying in that same night. So we rolled to the contest, everything. Fatty's like getting us like coffee, and he's just like, oh, here's some ramen, bro, like you need this and stuff. And like I'm eating the ramen and like not feeling the best, feeling a little nauseous and stuff. Like Scott was saying, I'm like throwing up, all that stuff. I didn't really start throwing up until I started riding. My first run in bodyboarding, because it's like a washing machine when you're doing all those DQ rolls and stuff. And like obviously I'm feeling a little hungover. I only had some ramen and a coffee in me, but yeah, after that first bodyboard run, I was profusively throwing up. Like I was just running outside the venue and just like throwing up, and then like waiting, until my next run to go up and go do that again, basically. And for some reason, when I ride, like I was able to hold it in and make it happen. But then once I get off, it's just like all the nausea setting in again. So it's just a back and forth process, and everyone just looking at me like, oh damn, he is not doing good. But I held it through up until the pro category, which is when I didn't need a judge, so I felt like I was doing my fulfillment of what I needed to do,
Right.
But yeah, like that contest, I learned very quickly to not go that hard before a contest. Wait till after, celebrate with fun, but yeah, don't do it before.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, you ended up winning, so.
Yeah, I ended up winning the contest, ironically, and Scott too. He ended up winning the contest as well. I couldn't even ride stand up, like I couldn't even do an ollie for the life of me. But homie was learning front foot impossibles and stuff. So shout out Scott, you're a tank for tripping through it. I tried, but got the best smooth bodyboard.
Well, good times. And I'm glad you guys both were able to get the win, even through all that. But I just wanted to make sure you didn't want to clear up anything. Get your side and your take on it.
Yeah, I mean, like we're all partying, you know, it's all fun and games and stuff. And for me, like obviously, I'm the younger guy out there, you know, like
Yeah.
I'm like a Gronk compared to like these kids, or not. I mean, not Gronk, but like you know, like a little bit of a generation different, you know.
So they probably encouraged you a little bit more than they may have partook in.
I mean, I know Fatty was suggesting Jaeger bombs, and I know 3 of those went down that night. So yeah, definitely started getting a little crazy. Had a few DJ clubs we went to.
Gotcha. All right. Well, good stuff. Congrats on the win and good story.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun one. One of many.
Yeah. Here's a good one. I think this question everybody wants to know. It's very widely talked about throughout the flowboarding community. Where did the Instagram handle @GetBoofed come from?
So I was very young. I was 12 or 13 at the time, and I was going to the barrel quite frequently. But yeah, I remember everyone at the barrel would get like so thrashed and so messed up or whatever, just from like eating crap or like, you know, just falling the wrong way or something. And for me, like, instead of like, cause I tried at first, it was get barreled and that didn't work. I was like, get wrecked. But like that, to me, that didn't really sound like proper, you know? Like, obviously that could be misconstrued in different ways or whatever, but like, get boofed, that worked out for that one. And for me, 12, 13 years old, it stuck to that. So like, it was basically like someone's like getting wrecked like on a machine or like getting like, you know, barreled or like, you know, just hurt. But to me, like if you're going that hard at like doing something and you're like getting injured or whatever, it means you're putting in the work and trying to do something. So obviously at a young age, that was what I was thinking, but it just kept going with it and I stuck it with it, and that's just been my Instagram handle ever since. And for me, like I'm not a big social media like person. Like I'll post every once in a while, but for me, like I'm usually the guy that's just like grinding, enjoying life, and then like I'll throw up a snippet once in a while, you know.
Yeah, you should post more because you definitely don't post enough.
I know, that's my bad trait. I'm working on it. I'm about to get a new GoPro and stuff, so.
Gotcha. Well, cool. I think there's a big question on everybody's mind, so glad we got that one out of the way. How many hotel rooms have you been kicked out of while on Flow Tour?
Oh my goodness.
Too many to count.
I mean, trying to actually put that like on a number scale right now. I would say a minimum of 5 to 6 for sure. Majority have been Utah. Actually,
Solid.
Yeah, actually, only one has not been Utah. So, yeah, pick and choose your battles wisely, folks. Don't party too hard with all your friends in the hotel room. Find legitimate places, and then just use that spot as a place to rest your head. So, but yeah, I mean, I was young too. So I mean, like, I think the first time I was kicked out, I was like 15 or 16, and like, it wasn't even like bad stuff. It was just like having too many people in a room, and like Utah is just like they're strict about like having a lot of people in a room and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you're hanging out with a bunch of friends you don't see out of state in a while, you can be a little rowdy. So
Yeah, I get that. It's definitely hard on Flow Tour because you're right. We don't get to see each other very often, but it's a large group of us, especially when we're in one room. So it's easy to get those noise complaints and people will kind of get frustrated, especially when those walls are, not too wide and pretty thin.
I've had like 15 people in the room before.
Yeah.
But we're all discussing flowboarding and just having fun talking. So I mean, it's something that you just gotta pick and choose your battles wisely.
Also, I think we're all kind of a little deaf from being around the machines so long, and
that's fair.
I think we all yell a little bit because we're trying to yell over the machine.
I'm the machine.
Yeah, so put 15 flowboarders in a room, we're all yelling at each other.
That's fair, actually. Huh? I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Where do you see this sport being in 10 years?
Oh my goodness. I mean, if you asked me that 10 years ago, I wouldn't have even imagined it being where it is today, So, I mean, going in the next 10 years, I'm hoping we actually make a big enough impact to, get some major sponsors and things going in the direction that we're, wanting it to go, which meaning that, it's getting bigger, it's going to, attract more people, it's going to make it to where we can actually get, potentially a X Games or, even not saying Olympics yet, but like, you know, something to that degree to where we can actually have like legitimate sick contests that are going, you know, around the whole world in a sense, and making major sponsors turn their heads to something that's, you know, sick. And for us, like, we've always dreamed that, you know, and like, I remember when I was a kid, I think 2011 or 12, San Diego Wave House, they had like the all games going on, and MTV and stuff was like podcasting that on like live television, and you had like a bunch of random college students too that were like coming into the mix and like trying to get out on stuff. So, I mean, anything's possible. We just need the right exposure, the right people in the forefront making it happen. And I think Florida crew with Josh and all them leading right now, it's been pretty good. We've been dialing in a lot more stuff, and I think right now with the community and everyone else like coming together as well with the years that we've been grinding, I think potential's there, and I think within the next 10 years we can actually achieve a lot of stuff that we're actually wanting to go into.
Yeah, I agree, and the potential is endless. We are a cool sport. It's very unique, and I think when the mainstream public kind of understands it and gets a hold of it, then I think it'll be a lot easier to put something out there on a bigger platform like X Games or even Olympics, hopefully one day.
I mean, you look at skateboarding, like back in the 70s and 80s, and like people just like, they didn't even turn a blind eye, but like the Z-Boys, you know, they made something out of it. We're doing contests and things, and it's an Olympic sport now, so like, just give it time. That 50 plus years now, so I mean, I'm not saying it's going to take that long. We're in the age of technology, but like, I feel like we have a fighting chance. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Hopefully, and with the age of technology and everything being digital these days, people can, you know, become a bigger community a lot easier just by the digital world and being able to be turned on to some of these things that they might not have seen before. And so hopefully our community gets bigger and better, and it you know, we get a little bit more on the mainstream and can kind of showcase our stuff to more of the mainstream people. So I look forward to seeing that in the next 10 years too. So, well, cool. Danny, you've been part of CCI Sports pretty much since its inception. Could you give us a little bit of info on why you think that it could benefit most riders?
Yeah, I mean, this platform was for riders. Like, we are riders for riders, you know. So like, we want to be able to help coach and facilitate like proper riding, and like make it to where it's easier for kids to learn stuff. Like when I was a kid, like it was kind of just word of mouth and like showing, you know, people the ropes a little bit. But like, you know, it's sometimes not as easy when someone's like, you know, across state or across country, you know, and like you don't have like the rider base that's right in front of you. Like I was fortunate and blessed. Like I had a bunch of really cool riders and like generation riders that were like, you know, pioneers in the sport that were teaching me the ropes. You know, not everyone has that luxury. So for us, we want to be able to facilitate and help those kids that aren't as able to get that help, and, you know, make it to where they can start progressing and doing things on their own accord. And to me, I feel like CCI gives it that platform for, you know, kids being able, not even just kids, but adults as well, to be able to, you know, get the tricks and things that they want to achieve, and, you know, start actually progressing and stuff. And I think with all the coaches that we have here too, it's just like a dynamic platform of riders that have been in the game, you know, had different layouts in life, and makes it to where it's just a versatile group of people that is really able to cater to a really big group of, you know, rider base. And I feel like CCI is that you know, that spot where we all collaborate and make it happen, and feel very blessed to be able to be a part of this group.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, and I think you really hit the nail on the head that it's one of those things that people don't get to really be around good riders at every wave, and we've created this platform that really gives the tools necessary for people that might not have the people around them that can ride, that can kind of give them some advice and help them learn the ropes. So all of our programs really cater to the riders because we're riders ourselves, and to be able to help anybody and everybody out there, I think, is the coolest part about CCI, being the fact that we can do it digitally, we can do it, you know,
from
anywhere. Yeah. So well, I appreciate that. I appreciate you
No, I appreciate you guys. It's a team effort. Everyone's been trying to put in the part, and you guys have definitely been the forefront of it as well. So it's really cool to see.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, CCI Sports is a big part of my life, and I've really tried to do as much as I can to make it as good as possible. But also, it's a collaborative effort from all of the coaches and all the team riders, and so a little bit of everybody has gone into this, and so. Being the fact that it's from a lot of the top riders in the industry and given all of our 2 cents, I think we've done a good job at making it well laid out for people to get and progress.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it's definitely made it to where that platform able to actually be achieved for different people out there, and I feel like the community appreciates that and being able to see that there's people carrying that aspect.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we're just about to wrap this up. I just got a few things real quick that I wanted to ask you. Do you have any sponsors that you want to shout out?
Yeah, obviously CCI. I appreciate you guys bringing me out here to Long Island. I got to ride that quarter pipe, and unfortunately one pumps us down, but still got to shred nonetheless. And also want to thank FlowRider, for always sponsoring me and flying me out to the contest and doing what they do. Definitely wouldn't be here without you guys as well, so appreciate you guys. Other than that, those are like the 2 main guys. Obviously Eric at the CCI, I want to give him the shout out too, because he's the man behind the scenes, But yeah, like CCI and FlowRider, like those are like my 2 go-tos, and Custom X for the bodyboards, They're the behind the scenes for my bodyboard, so gotta give them a shout out as well.
Right on.
Yeah, those are my 3 go-tos, I will say.
So looking for sponsors, I'd say. Yeah.
Always on the hunt,
open to it.
always open for it, whether it's clothing line or even board, like not board but like apparel and other things. Just looking for outlets. We want to grow the sport and all the different sponsors that are out there. Even wetsuit, that's a big one. I spent a lot of money on wetsuits.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, you're 7-time world champion, stand-up and bodyboard. So get this man a wetsuit, guys.
I would hope so.
Billabong. He said he likes Billabong.
Yeah, that's my favorite Billabong if you're out there.
Right on. Do you have anybody else you want to shout out? Maybe some family or friends?
Yeah, obviously my parents. My parents definitely, like, my mom is the one that took me to so many different concerts as a kid. So gotta give her the shout out because she put in the effort, and I know I wasn't the easiest kid growing up, so definitely makes it that much more special. But other besides my parents and family, definitely want to give a shout out to my girlfriend Natalie. She's been a rock as well, helping me have a good mindset and appreciation for life as well. And then all the friends on FlowBoarding in the community as well. I have my friends when I'm back at home and stuff as well, but the community within FlowBoarding, I have such a dynamic of friends that I've been able to meet and appreciate for. And that's part of the reason why I love going on flow tours. Not even the contest atmosphere, but all the homies that I get to be with. So shout out to everyone in the community. You guys are what make it everything. So at the end of the day, it's us that's gonna push the sport, and I see a really great group of people, so I expect great things.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, shout out Flow community. We do this for you guys, so yeah. Well, cool, man. I appreciate you stopping by and talking some shit on Shit FlowBoarders Say, giving a little bit of insight into your life and your flowboarding career. So thanks for coming to Long Island. Sorry you didn't get to ride the full wave, but maybe next time. You got a little bit of time, but yeah, just a little bit of pumps wasn't the full experience. But next time you come out, we got you. But yeah, man, thanks for joining us. I appreciate you coming out, and we'll catch you next time, right?
Okay, I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything, and until next time. Cheers, everybody.
Yeah, adios.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Shit FlowBoarders Say. And a very special thanks goes to Danny for flying to New York to talk some shit with us. If you like this episode or any other videos, make sure to subscribe to our channel or just comment below on who you'd like to see us interview next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next podcast of Shit FlowBoarders Say.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Scott did offer it. for him to pay for you to go to Spa Castle.
I know. Okay, we kind of crushed that, huh?
Did you stop it?
No.
What?
Because these are bloopers. At the end of the video.